Going from one 27-year-old pitcher to another, that brings us to David Peterson. Now, last week, the Mets sent Peterson down to AAA Syracuse for the second time this year after another rough performance. In 39 innings pitched, Peterson has posted an 8.08 earned run average and has surrendered a total 8 home runs in 8 starts. One of the noticeable differences from last season was Peterson's slider, which has posted the worst run value in all of baseball at plus 13. With still encouraging batted ball peripherals, the Mets are giving Peterson the chance to figure it out and make adjustments in AAA. I know that there's a possibility with how old our rotation is, we might see him again, but that's not the question. If he were to figure it out, does David Peterson deserve another shot in the major leagues? Should the Mets give him another chance?
I mean, it's been bad this year. I mean, there's nothing I can defend here. It's just like you said, the slider was what was good for him. Now it's just not there. I don't think he should pitch for this team anymore. But again, there's a lot of guys on this roster that should not be on the mound anymore. So I think that we're going to see him again at some point. I don't think there's a scenario where it's like, we'll just let him figure out the minors and we'll see what happens next year. I think this team has such a lack of depth that he's going to come. He'll be back. He
obviously, yeah.
He just came back after being sent down. He'll be back again, especially how much it rains here. I mean, we're in the midst of having another doubleheader. So he'll be back. Should he be back? Probably not. But again, there should be just a bunch of new pitchers on this team in the offseason. We said a million times. So this is the situation they put themselves in. Again, for every single week, having a bunch of older pitchers and not signing any other, major league pitchers, you're going to end up having Peterson make a lot of starts. That's what you signed up for. You had to know that was a very distinct possibility. So, I was a Peterson believer. You weren't, and he's been terrible. So that's the situation they put themselves in. They should have been aware of that and know that this is possible. And look at the position they're in, where we're now what do we do with him? But what I will say is, even though he's not on here, Jordan Lucchesi had a great start for AAA. I think it was either today or yesterday, whatever. Right. And again, even though Lucchesi didn't have too many great starts, he still had a couple pretty good ones. So he's the guy I'd be willing to give another chance to instead of Peterson. Especially when Carrasco, he comes back and looks like crap again. So I would just rather have Lucchesi have an opportunity than Peterson or Carrasco. But that's just me because he's the guy I've seen the most out of. Comparing him to just the other, it's not that Lucchesi's been amazing. It's just that the other guys have been so bad that I'd be willing to give Jordan Lucchesi.
Speaking of lefties, just specifically, Jose Quintana's knocking on the door. He's coming close to coming back too. So,
is he?
About a month.
That's the best case scenario. I still wouldn't. I'd still be surprised if he showed.
Again, the key word is deserved, but again, Drew Smith hasn't deserved shit for 3 years, but yet he's still here. So, does he deserve? No, because he's pitched god-awful. But again, like Frank has said, in the pathetic upper-level depth of pitching, there is nobody else. Dylan Bundy's out here getting popped for sticky stuff. Eric Orzi's getting popped for sticky stuff. So really, we ain't got nobody. He's the next call, and like you said, he's already bit up once. So does he deserve it? No. But the piss-poor depth in the starting rotation is going to push him to get another and another and another opportunity until they get some pitchers in the upper minor league. We'll get to one in a little bit, but there's still nobody. All of their quality starting options, not relievers, like a lot of these guys are going to probably end up being relievers, are an A-plus ball, a rookie ball, and ones in AA. So he's going to get them. Does he deserve it? No. But again, this is what Epler has said. Oh, we want to build a 40-man roster. Well, you didn't even build a good 40-man roster of depth.
You didn't even build a 26. I mean, forget 40. I mean, let's get a 26 sorted out. Then we can worry about 40. You dope.
And the only flyer you want to take is Dylan Bundy, who's getting slapped around. It's the fault of Billy Epler. He won't just trade Carlos Carrasco for 5 AAA pitchers or 3 AAA pitchers. Not looking at assets and saying, hey, all right, guys that get DFA, even if they're bad, bring them into the organization because, hey, could they give you 2 fluke starts? That's kind of the guy, and they won't even do that. Even we'll get to relievers maybe. Like, there's been so many relievers DFA. Yes, they're horrible statistically and probably look like poo. Can you give me 3 to 4 good outings? That's what I look for these waiver wire type guys. And he's done it and tried it with like Leome and these guys and Dennis Santana, but he won't do it with starting pitching. So does he deserve it? No, but he's going to be back up here probably in the next 2 weeks.
Frank, remember when the season started? I think we jokingly, I talked about David Peterson might be out of the league in like 2 to 3 years.
I don't remember. I'm old. I forget things very quick.
That's one of the main debates that we've had that I've definitely remembered fairly well. And obviously I was joking at that point, but we're not that far off. I mean, this guy's 27 years old, right? He's been pretty bad this year. I can't say that there's nothing promising about him, because there's stuff that he did improve, and then there's also some stuff that look even worse. I can tell you right now that compared to any other pitcher, especially even Carrasco, this guy is still the biggest mess with runners on base ever. A head case with runners on base. But overall, I never want to see this guy again. What I say all the time, David Peterson was a first-round pick. First-round pick comes with first-round pedigree and first-round potential, first-round expectation. He has not met that expectation whatsoever. The guy works in 10-inning intervals. And now we're just getting all bad innings right now. We've had this debate since the beginning of the season of Tyler McGill versus David Peterson for the back end of the rotation. Even though both of them we knew were going to have key starts in the rotation, who did we trust more? The fact that Tyler McGill actually is comparable to David Peterson is really, really sad. David Peterson, like I said, first round pick expectation. This was one of their guys that they expected to be a cornerstone in the majors, and he has not been that. Tyler McGill, late blooming guy who used to be a reliever, 8th round pick, and now this guy's chesting up to him and out pitching him. That's what I mean. He's not that guy. He's not a first round guy. The guy they picked right after him, that's a first round guy. I won't get into that. The next guy that we're going to talk about is someone that I want to see there before, but the fact that we've saw some even a little bit more consistency from Joey Lucchesi, of those down early to full-on blow-ups, I'm trusting Joey Lucchesi. Because Joey Lucchesi, I know, on a typical day, 3 to 4 runs in 5 innings. And with this offense now that's starting to creep up back, they can get back into it. But with David Peterson, after 3, it's 9-2. Great. What are we going to do? Nothing. Every game counts now because the Mets started off slow. They got to get back into it. They still have a rhythm to get back into it. And they need the starting pitching to perform. And I don't want to see, like we've said before, Dominic Leone and Steven Nagosic and Tommy Hunter all stacked on each other because David Peterson threw 2 innings of 7-run ball.
No, I mean, your complaint last year, your main complaint was the walks. He walks above 10%. He's never going to be successful if he keeps walking this many batters. He won't be a major league pitcher. He doesn't have the walk problem anymore. He fixed that, and now he sucks. So it's like maybe he should have been walking people all along because he seemed to have more success walking batters, because a walk is better than a home run. So I think it was just, trying to miss bats. I think that's what he was going for. So I need him to get back to that. Walk whoever you want, just don't give up 7 runs.
You know why he's not walking anyone? Because he's leaving everything over the plate.
That's what I'm saying.
Just because you have good control does not mean you have good command. That's the problem with him. If he has good control, he has horrible command. If he has bad command, he has good control. Like, this is the problem with him. He'll never have those two there at the same time. And that's a problem, especially with somebody who is 27 years old. He's not 23. He's not 21. He's not 20.
It's like what happened with Dom Smith. Eventually, you got to, first round pick, eventually you just got to call it quits. Like, you can't, like I said, you can't wait forever.
Draft stock is something that I definitely take into account with expectation. And I know a lot of people don't. This guy was expected to be one of their, best pitchers, somebody they had expectation. He finally got here. He's 27 years old now. He's not, yes, he's still young, but at this point, we expect him to be at his highest capacity. I don't think an 8 ERA is highest capacity.